Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about the aftermath of taking back control of your life and the effects of loving yourself. So, I've been talking about practicing self-love and giving to yourself and taking your power back and shifting your focus from your connections and your relationships and people around you to yourself and start filling your own cup in order to fill out the voids that you have been expecting other people to fill for you. And let's say that we have successfully started that task, the task of self-love, and we are well ahead of our game. And I mean, well ahead into our game. So, what now? What kind of feelings should we be experiencing, and what kind of reactions are we getting from our environment? Once you start loving yourself, once you start putting your energy and your focus onto yourself and you're taking it away from your environment, you're gonna create a void in your environment. You're gonna create an energetic shift in people around you, the people that were your focus, your family, your friends, your loved ones. People that used to receive from you suddenly feel that void. They suddenly feel the absence of your energy. And this can cause different reactions from people. If you have been a doormat all your life and you have been giving all like yourself into the relationship, if you've been begging, if you've been a low value person, if you've been giving without boundaries, and suddenly you're shifting that energy towards yourself, giving to yourself, focusing on yourself, focusing on your abundance, on your energy, on your finances, on your career, on your life, then the person that was receiving this starts feeling hungry. It's like you've been feeding someone something that was essential to their survival, especially in narcissistic relationships. And this person was feeding off of you, off of your energy, off of your effort, off of your support, whether it was financial, whether it was emotional, whether it was spiritual. They start feeling the hunger. And with this hunger comes expectations, it comes anger, there comes frustration, there comes lashing out, there comes mind games. So different people, based on the kind of relation, the nature of the relationship you had, and based on their personalities, they might behave differently. Let's say you had someone in your life, in your love life, as a person that you had a connection with, or somebody that you had a relationship with, a husband or a boyfriend, somebody that you wish that you could commit to, or they were committed to you, but everything you put in, all the effort and energy that you put in didn't work out and your seeds didn't grow. So you decided to stand back and take your energy back and take your power back and focus that on into your life and focus that on yourself. So you start growing, you start feeling better about yourself, and suddenly if you're in a twin flame energy, you can feel the other person's energy, you can feel their frustration, you can feel their anger, you can feel their sense of thirst. They might, it kind of feels like they are hunting your energy, they're seeking your energy, they're starving for it. If you're not in a twin flame energy, if you don't have an energetic bond with your friend, they might reach out to you because they're looking for that source. They might suddenly come out of nowhere as a person that was ignorant, a person that was giving you silent treatment, that was ghosting you, that you had to chase, that you had to beg for them to talk to you suddenly shows up. They suddenly start wondering, where have you been? What are you doing? And or they start playing mind games. They might throw little clues at you that they're looking for you, or they might start little games that could trigger you. They might start triggering your jealousy. I don't know, they might start putting posts on their social media to make you curious or jealous, to get a reaction from you. Because for a person that's thirsty for your energy, even the slightest reaction, even if it's a negative reaction, is attention. And that person needs your attention. Because these relationships were one-sided relationships, because there was no equal give and take, usually the person does not come back and start giving to you. The person usually comes back and expects what you have been taking away from them. It rarely happens that you take away your energy and the other person immediately starts becoming, I don't know, the most mature person out there and the most giving person out there, and start putting back into your connection. No, that does not happen. What happens is, in fact, the other person starts getting curious. That's the first thing that happens to them. Then they start getting frustrated because they know something is missing. The energy that you were giving is missing. Even if they didn't want your energy, even if they were rejecting you, even if they were not putting back the same amount that you were putting into your connection, even if they were ignoring you or ghosting you, your energy was flowing in their life. So the absence of that energy, the absence of that attention, is going to cause them, for the least, to get curious. So if the person absolutely didn't care about you, the least that can happen is curiosity. They're gonna wonder what happened to this person. If that person cared about you, if you meant something to them and they were just in their ego and they were just being an ass, and if they were playing games, if all of this was just some kind of, I don't know, like a source of attention that they took for granted, they will get frustrated. They will get angry. They will get lonely. And in this group, if they are sitting in their ego, they will play mind games with you. They will try to make you jealous. They will try to get a reaction out of you, like I said. Or they try to reach out for the silly reasons that they could find just to get a little bit of your energy, or just to see where you are, just to dip their toe into the water a little bit, just to see where you're at. Are you still committed to the connection? Are you still there? Are you still putting energy into this? Are you still thinking about them, basically? Do you remember them? So, and this is in a love life. If these people that you've been giving your energy to could be your friends, they could be your family, and it's the same scenario. Once you draw your focus out of a one-sided connection and shift it towards yourself, people start feeling your absence. And for people that actually care about you and they want your energy in their life, they will reach out for that energy. And then you should practice discernment to decide for yourself whether you want to give that energy back or you just want to continue with your life. Drawing your energy away from people and relationships that are not giving and that are not nurturing, and focusing on yourself and the practice of self-love could also affect you. On the good side, it fills your cup, it fills your voids, you start feeling empowered. You start gaining back the strength that you were giving to the other party. You start getting more confident, feeling better about yourself, feeling strong, feeling powerful, feeling like the world is your oyster pretty much. And if you're growing in your spiritual journey, if you're in a spiritual journey, if you're working on yourself and healing your wounds, then you start feeling a rebirth in your life. And if you're doing the work on yourself, and if you're doing the work in your 3D life, then abundance starts flowing in. You start getting more money, you start finding sources of more money, you start, I don't know, maybe putting your own business together, because now your energy is on you. You're not begging somebody else to pay you attention, you're giving yourself that attention. So your life starts moving forward, it starts to flourish. It might be slow in the beginning, but it will come. And once it comes, you start feeling so good about yourself. And then you start drawing boundaries, you start realizing and accepting connections that are giving to you, that you can receive something from them. And altogether, your life takes a positive shift. But there is also a negative effect of self-love that you should recognize and you should stay away from. Because if you fall into that, you can easily fall back into the same patterns that was in your life before, into people pleasing, into giving more than you receive, into becoming a doormat, becoming a slave to the chains of other people. And that is guilt. Feeling guilty for not giving, feeling like you're a mean person. And some people may even call you that. If you're a narcissist, if you have a narcissistic mother, if you have a narcissistic boyfriend, if that person that you were giving to and you're shifting your energy from was a dark narcissistic personality, they will call you names. They will make you feel guilty. Even if you don't feel it in yourself, they will make you feel that. They will criticize you. They will call you mean, that you're selfish, that you don't think about them, or they start manipulating you. Oh, but you don't love us? How can you not love us? Like, we're your family, I'm your loved one, I'm your boyfriend, I'm your husband, I'm your child, right? Guilt tripping. But even if that doesn't happen, if the other person has not contacted you yet, or if that person has not played on your sense of guilt, you might feel it in yourself. You might feel that, oh, I could have given this person something in this scenario, but I didn't. Oh, maybe I'm not such a good person anymore. Or, oh my God, like, if I didn't say this or give this person that when I could, does that make me selfish? Does that make me a bitch? Does that make me an asshole? Does that make me somebody that people should not really trust or be friends with? Like, you might start questioning yourself. You might start questioning your integrity. You might start questioning your boundaries. But do not fall into that. It's okay for somebody that has been giving all their life, for an empath, for a compassionate person, to give back to themselves and draw those boundaries with other people. Because if you're in an environment that nobody else is filling your cup, if you're coming out of an environment that you were drained, that you were run dry, that nothing was left in your cup, you have to draw those boundaries. You have to give back to yourself. You have to cut those vampires out of your life, or at least limit the amount that they can drag out of you. And you're not a bad person. You're not a bitch. You're not a jerk. It's okay. Like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, even if you have a way of helping. It's okay to say no even if you know the answers. It's okay to say no even if you have something to give. But you should look at yourself and you should look at the other party. If you have excess of what you have, if you, let's say somebody is asking for your time to help them with something. If you have so much time on your hand and you don't expect anything in return, you can help that person. But if you can use that time for something better, something that uplifts you, something that helps you gain something that helps you grow, something that helps you put something for yourself, then you should not. Self-love is about putting yourself first. And it's not in a selfish way. It's not in an egotistical way. It's not in a narcissistic way. Narcissists put themselves first in every matter because they don't love themselves. And it's very important to distinguish the difference between these two. A narcissist puts themselves first because they believe they don't deserve it. It's a weird situation, I know, but a narcissist is seeking an outside attention for them. Self-love is seeking your attention for you. You see the difference? That's the difference. The difference between a narcissistic love and self-love is a narcissist wants everybody else's attention for themselves. They only think of themselves. You are for me. Your energy is for me. Your resources are for me. Because I need your attention, because I'm surviving on your resources. But when you're giving yourself self-love, you give it to you. You need your own love. You need your own attention. It's the source of energy is you, not the outside. A narcissist cannot give themselves that self-love. They don't have self-love. That's why they prey on other people. People with narcissistic behavior, they go and find their supplies in other people. They don't have self-love. They can't fill their own cups. They don't realize their own wounds, their own scars, their own baggage. So they're constantly trying to get supply from outside so they can fill those little voids inside them. But with self-love, for an empath, for someone who's been able to showing compassion for a loving person, you put that in yourself. You're not waiting for an outside source to fill you up. You do it for you. You do it so you're happy, so you're satisfied, so you can grow. And your growth is based on what makes you happy, not to make everybody else happy or to, I don't know, satisfy somebody else's wishes or to match somebody else's standards. It's all for you. Because in a lot of one-way relationships, your person might start ignoring you, saying that they're putting their time and effort into themselves, but in reality, they're trying to meet somebody else's standards in their environment. They're trying to match up to somebody else's bars in their environment. They're not really putting it to themselves. They're giving their energy to another thing. To another person, to another entity. It could be their job, it could be their family, it could be another partner. So not everybody that doesn't have time for you is practicing self-love either. It would be nice if everybody didn't have time for you because they were giving to themselves and filling their cups, but in a lot of cases that's not true. So once you see somebody doesn't have time for you, whether they're filling their own cup or whether they're trying to please somebody else, you need to draw your energy away. You need to focus on you. And you can just hope that that other person, if they're trying to people please and, I don't know, kiss butts and meet somebody else's guidelines, they will learn self-love too, and they start giving to themselves also. So to recap, two things happens when you practice self-love. The first thing is a backlash from your environment, from the people that you used to give to and now you don't. They start feeling the absence of your energy, the absence of your support, the absence of everything that you were giving, and now it's not there. And based on the kind of personalities they have, they could react differently. They could play mind games. They could try to manipulate you, guilt trip you. They could totally lash out on you and go angry and mean and rude. Or they can just pull away even harder. Remember, a negative reaction is always a reaction. It's still a reaction. So if you're pulling away your energy from someone and they're even more distant, that is a reaction. That's a retaliation, actually. The other thing that can happen when you practice self-love is the feeling of guilt. And you have to try your best to stay away from that, because that can easily drag you back into people pleasing and the chains of slavery to your connections. Do not feel guilty for loving yourself. Do not feel guilty for making yourself feel good. Do not feel guilty for giving to yourself things that you didn't get in your life before, things that you didn't receive when you were a child, things that you didn't receive when you were a young adult, things that you didn't receive in your relationships. What I've been doing in the past several months, ever since I decided to shift my focus to myself, is I coming up with a list of things that I always wanted to do and I never got to do because I didn't have time, or because I thought, oh, I need to do it with somebody else. It's a thing for two, or because I was focusing so much on everything else that I forgot that I ever wanted this. That includes seeing places that I always wanted to see, trying food that I always wanted to learn how to cook, making my own little garden, anything. It could be anything. Listening to music or practicing learning a new instrument, painting, dancing, something that makes your soul sing. I'm saying yes to my cravings now. Of course, my healthy cravings. I'm not waiting for nobody to make me happy, because that's not anybody else's job. everything you think is for two, everything you think should be done in a relationship, you can do for yourself as well. And don't wait for people to change. People have free will. Don't think just because you're giving self-love and you're becoming a more powerful person, the people around you will change as well. They might. If you're in a twin flame journey, your twin will mirror and grow as well. May not be as quickly as you want, but they will. But that's not always the case. So don't wait around for nobody. As you start growing, as you start vibrating higher, as you start feeling stronger and feeling more confident, your love life starts changing too. You start meeting new people. You start attracting higher vibrational people to you. Your environment changes. And people that were in lower vibrations in your old environment, if they don't raise their vibrations, if they don't change themselves, they can't reach you anymore. You'll be forever gone from their lives. Or their energetic cycle. You can't forever go from your family, I guess, but you know what I mean. They can't access you anymore. Even if you are there in your body, in your 3D, once you start vibrating higher, once you start feeling happy in your skin, once you start feeling whole, once you're in union and balance within yourself, then it's really, really, really difficult for other people to connect with you, for people of lower vibrations. And once these people are out of your life, it opens so much room for people that are at your level. People that are happy, people that are complete, people that are strong, people that are mature, people that want to build. Once you're done with destroyers, once you're done with people that make a mess behind them and leave a destruction track behind them, you open door to people that build with you, to people that can love you for who you are, people that accept you for who you are. All of a sudden, who you are is more than enough. What you do is beautiful. What you look like is pretty. It's sexy. It is your job to put yourself in environments where you are appreciated. If you're in an environment that's toxic, that is sick, that is dark, it's nobody's fault but yours. Self-love is the hardest thing to do in the world. Especially for empaths, especially for people that want to save other people, especially for people that have a giving nature. Because you want to be out there saving everybody else. But in reality, we need to save ourselves. I need to save me before I can save anybody else. The simplest example for that is the oxygen mask in a plane. Once the mask drops, the instructions are put your mask on first and then put it on your child. Because you need to stay alive in order to save somebody else's life. Same story here. You need to love yourself before you can love anybody else. You need to feel powerful yourself before you can protect somebody else. You need to feel abundant before you can provide for anybody else. You can't run yourself dry. You can't feel guilty for saying no. I hope this helps, and I'll see you on the weekend. Take care.